In today's lesson, we're going to be looking at dividing integers. The main concepts of this lesson will be dividing two different integers, as well as dividing integers when 0 is involved. We're also going to take a peek at dividing integers with algebraic expressions, finding the mean using integers, and finally solving an order of operations problem using integers. So let's go ahead and begin with dividing two integers. So when we are dividing integers, we're going to follow the same rules as we did with multiplying integers. We'll begin with the two integer rule. So if both integers are positive or if both integers are negative, your answer will always be positive. If one of them is negative and the other is positive, your answer will always be negative. Or you can always think of the rule we learned before, and that rule is if there is an odd number of integers, the sign will be negative. So for number 1, we have 24 divided by 4, which is going to be 6. And then we look at the signs. There's one sign, which is an odd amount, so the answer is negative. So we have negative 6. For number 2, we have 20 divided by 5, which is 4. And we only have one negative number, one negative sign, so that's an odd amount. Therefore, the answer is going to be negative. Now, with number 3, we have 18 divided by 9 is 2. And we have two negative signs, which is an even amount. Therefore, the answer will be positive. So the answer is just positive 2. Okay, with 4 and 5, you'll notice 4, we have 30 divided by 0. And then for 5, we have 0 divided by negative 8. And so we have to think about the rule here. One of these will have an answer of 0. The other one won't. I like to think of it in terms of money. If I have $0 and I divide it amongst 8 of my friends, everybody gets the same amount. They get $0. I cannot divide 30 by 0. It's impossible. You can't even think about it. It's something that can't be done. And so if you divide by 0, the answer is called undefined, is what we usually say. So it means it can't happen. So I would write down for this, for number 4, I'd write down undefined. And then for number 5, 0 divided by negative 8 would just end up being 0, because 0 divided by any number equals 0. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to solving some algebraic expressions with integers. So with number 6, we have x, and it really should read x divided by z. Okay, so we have x divided by z. And what we're going to do is we're going to first write down what x is, which is 20. We're going to divide it by z, which is negative 5. Okay, and so we do 20 divided by 5, which is 4. And we have one negative sign, so the answer will end up being negative because we have an odd amount. Now 7 becomes a little bit more tricky. We have our absolute value signs, right? And we have 10 times y, which is negative 4, divided by negative and then x, which is 20. So divide by negative 20. And then, again, the absolute value signs are still there. 10 times negative 40 is, 10 times negative 4 is negative 40. And it's divided by negative 20. So again, now, our answer of negative 40 divided by negative 20 is 2. And the absolute value of 2, which means how far is 2 from 0, is just simply 2. So that is our final answer is 2. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at how you find a mean when dealing with integers. All right. So in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to combine, what I like to do is I like to combine all my negatives first. So I have 8, 3, and 5. Well, 3 and 5 is 8. 8 plus 8 is 16. So I have negative 16. Plus 12 and 9. 12 plus 9 is 21. I combine these, and so I have 16 negatives and 21 positives, which gives me 5 more positives. So I have positive 5. Now I'm going to divide this by, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. So I'm going to divide it by 5. And I get a final answer of 1. So the answer to this is positive 1. All right. Our final problem, this is going to be evaluating the expression using integers. This is an order of operations problem. What we'll want to do here is we're going to follow the order of operations. If you remember that, it's PEMDAS, or please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, which we have parentheses, exponents, then multiply, divide, followed by add, subtract. And remember, the multiply, divide comes from left to right. The add, subtract comes left to right, whatever one comes first, okay? It doesn't have to be multiply, then divide. It could be divide, then multiply. So we first need to look, are there any parentheses? I don't see any, so I can move on. Do I see any exponents? I do not, so I can move on. How about multiplying or dividing? I do see a division problem, which is right here. Now, a couple ways of doing this. If you want to, you can simply divide this problem here and leave the minus sign. Or you can make it into a plus negative 30 and do it that way. Either way is fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to write it down as negative 6 minus 30 divided by 5, which is 6, subtracting 4. Now, what I am going to do here is I'm going to make this into a plus negative. So now, negative 6 and negative 6 is negative 12, plus negative 4. And then negative 12 plus negative 4 is negative 16. So our final answer is negative 16. There's our lesson. Hopefully this is helpful for you. If you have any questions, please feel free to check in with me. And like always, please make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that little bell for post notifications. Thank you very much. Have a good one.